Hello and welcome to Bloke on a Range on an insanely hot day for a bit of ammunition testing. Now what we're going to do it with is with this 1862 Dreyse rifle. I've used it many times on the channel already. And much like with the Sabot, I'm a bit of on a quest to find a quick and easy way to shoot with it. Now you can use round ball. A felt wad behind it. It works perfectly well. In fact, in most Dreyse competitions, because there are some specialist ones in Germany just for these needle guns, the accurate best results are with round ball. But I am convinced that I can get the egg bullets, the Langblei, to function properly as it should. This was, of course, supposed to be more accurate at longer ranges than a round ball. Just aerodynamically speaking. However, because it needs this really quite complicated sabot, it's difficult for us nowadays to get it to run well, and it takes a lot of time to make these sabots. Normally you have to wind up some card, you have to find the right thickness, wind it up, lots of gluing, lots of time involved, and I haven't got time for that, frankly. So the idea would be to find alternative materials or ways to find this sabot. So I have two with me. So first of all, I tried birch rod, which I machined on the lathe. That didn't work at all. It seemed to just shatter at the time of ignition, and the bullets went sideways all over the place, and there was a huge build-up of soot inside the rifling. The rifling's very deep, so it doesn't affect it immediately, but the amount of soot I got out of it at the end of the day was horrendous. It worked a little better putting a felt wad behind this wooden sabot. Still not very accurate, but they were all on the target and all making round holes, so that was progress. So now I have some MDF, also machined sabots. Bit tricky to machine because although MDF is very strong in compression, it tends to delaminate as soon as you twist it. And see, so these are relatively long, and so I had to be very careful when drilling them out from the plank and then drilling on the lathe, drilling the recess for the base of the bullet. Sort of 50% failure until I managed to get the right RPM and the right torque on the collet so that it absolutely wouldn't move. So I don't know how that's going to react to being spun in the rifling. We'll see. We'll see. And the other one is using acetal or Delrin plastic. That's already been used by quite a lot of people I know who use things like inline muzzle loaders, using then that to propel a bullet. PVC could perhaps be another one, but apparently this Delrin has more it's slippier down the bore. So we shall see. Hopefully they'll come out and be reusable, which would be another bonus, at least 1 or 2 times. As I said, the rifling is quite deep, so it may also get chewed up. We'll see. What I'll do is I have 12 cartridges of each sabot type, and I also have 12 cartridges of round ball just as a control. So it might be at the end of the day the round ball will still be more accurate, but that's what we're here to find out.
Let's do that.
So there we go, finished on the range here, just cleaned it for the third time. Why don't we head back to the workshop and we can have a discussion about the results. Okay, so let's have a look at the targets in a bit more detail. We'll start with the round ball target. Looks pretty good. I've eliminated the flyer down there at about 7 o'clock in the 2. And the first shot, which was at 12 o'clock in the 3, I aimed 6 o'clock hold, and that was the result of the first shot. So in fact, I had to aim just at the bottom of the actual target frame, so it's about a foot below center, or a foot and a half below center of the black to aim there. So on a positive note, it was a very easy target as a sight picture to take, just slap bang in the middle at the bottom of the frame. So that's partly responsible for the nice group you see here. Now the middle blown out is a little artificial because I had shot some 2-2. Quite a nice group of 2-2 in the middle prior to shooting this series, as you can see from the big patches there. So it's just that the round ball have punched out the remains of the black, so I didn't really create that massive hole just with the Dreyse. So using the magic of an app, this actually gives me a group size of 15.5 centimeters, whatever that is in inches. The bore after that series was actually quite filthy. There was no problem loading and shooting, but it took quite a long time to clean up afterwards to prepare for the next series. Okay, so then we'll move on to the MDF. So this one, not too bad, but there are a lot of outliers there. This gives me a group size of 24.5 centimeters. Interestingly, I just had a 6 o'clock hold, just under the black. So they definitely fly a lot flatter than the round ball, which was the point of the Langblei in the first place. So, but the problem here is that there are a number which show a lot of lead on one side and not the other of the hole, which means that they are not stabilizing fully. And I suspect that if we take these out to 100, they're going to be tumbling all over the place. So interesting group, especially that group of 5 there at 12 o'clock, but it's not consistent, so it's spreading quite wide and not stabilizing. I didn't find any of the Sabots. I only found a tiny little sliver, so I suspect that they are surviving, just about surviving the trip down the bore and then spinning themselves to oblivion at the muzzle. So it'd be interesting to get some fast camera footage to see what's going on. But anyway, these are frankly not worth the trouble. The round ball is far better, and as I said, producing them is a nightmare. So that has conclusively proven that these are not good enough. And lastly, we move to the Delrin. Now this again was a 6 o'clock hold, and it has given me a group of 12.6 centimeters. So actually ever so slightly smaller than the round ball. It flies flatter, so I would need, probably down in the 7 in the 4 ring, perhaps 12 o'clock, and a bit of windage adjustment, maybe also just up the charge a little. So they fly nice and true. The holes are nice and round, so they're stabilizing. I recovered 3 Sabots. They were probably about 3/4 of the way down the range, so they're spinning up and staying with the bullet quite a long way, and they're obviously doing their job. So it'll be very interesting to see how these perform at 100 when we finally get access to that kind of range. So it helps that they are flying flatter compared to the round ball, but I know the round ball perform actually pretty well at 100, so I'm expecting these to perform even better. Time will tell. So there we go, the Delrin just pips the round ball. Still debatable whether at 50 meters it's really worth the effort of making all these, when it's much quicker and comparable performance with the round ball. However, at 100, I'm pretty sure that these are going to do much better. So we'll see when we get there. There is one more thing I want to do with these Delrin, and that is to include a skirt in the base. So exploit the Minier principle, or like air pellets, for example. And this has already been done. There is a German utility patent from 2017, and you can actually buy them in Germany. So I'm going to get hold of some and chop them up so I can see exactly how the skirt is formed and try and reproduce that on these. Of course, you get a nice expansion with the ignition gases, and you should get even better engagement. Although close up, if you can see on these, which I retrieved from the range, there is already a nice positive engraving on the outside of these Sabots. At least they're probably good enough, at least for one more go. I guess once you get too many goes on these, you'll start getting blow-by of gases and all sorts. So, but still, at least if they're usable once again, that's already a bonus. If I can find them in the long grass. So these was 3 I found out of 12 I'd actually fired. So I hope you're still awake and not bored to death with all this droning about ballistics for ancient rifles. As soon as I get hold of the German Sabots, I will take a look and update you on how I make these and the modifications I'll do to them for the skirt, and we'll put those to the test. So yeah, there is hope for the Dreyse shooters out there who don't want to spend hours of their lives rolling up paper sabots. These may be the way. So
Thank you for watching. Thank you, of course, for all your support on whatever platform you wish to follow us on, and I shall see you soon here in the workshop or on the range. Bye.